So a little housekeeping, just so you know, things that you don't lose track for the class. I want to highlight a little bit of this information that exists in Module 1, because I noticed that sometimes I move kind of quickly, and I don't want you to like say I don't know where I need to look for what I define. So I mean, keeping this document kind of live for us to add for me to add information for you guys to follow, but I also wanted to use what is in the module. So when this class was taught by David Bertram, he added a lot of information that I think is similar information that what I'm teaching that can be used as reinforcement for the class. One instance, he showed the way to build the columns in a different way that I did mine. I did my model in place, but I'm going to show you how to do it as a family. And we're going to be doing that for the next project. Okay. So I've been adding this information just for you to keep track. I came back and I want to revisit a little bit of these things that I kind of like. Okay. So if I go to, there's like glossary, there's the Revit interface, that one, if you want to like just keep, that's basically the screen capture of what the software looks like, what the ribbons are, what information you need, and then the Revit shortcuts. And I think you should, if you can, put in the shortcuts or have them open because they help you a lot. Sometimes if I say align, you don't have to look for the align logo, you just have, right, like align L or trims TR, putting a component, the CM, things like that. I know because I've been using it for a long time, but you might not know. And then it takes time for you. So I will say practice your practice the keyboard commands. So great to have as a point of reference. Just keep those handy. Okay. Okay. And then there's this Barcelona Pavilion gradings thing that I created. This is mostly for you to know how I'm going to be grading. So I'm going to open so you can see real quick. That exists in that module 1. And there's this document. Here's the decisive open. Fantastic. What? No way. Okay. So this is the grading system. I set it up basically on how you do your column. Your basic stairs is a little okay, right? Your storefront. It's not storefront, it's terminal, but again, it's basically the same interchangeable name. Managing your basic materials, your rendering, creating a component sheets, and we're going to talk about those, and then your final project, right? We're coming towards the end of this project, so we're going to be moving to project 2. I want to try to get this project completed done by next week. No. Thursday next week, we're going to have, by the way, Thursday next week. What is Thursday next week? Monday we're not through. So we will say like June 6th, we won't have a typical class. Yeah. June 6th we'll have what? June 6th we'll have a lecture by Uchenna Bukete, who is a professional Revit. He has a company that focus on, I can show you, it's a company that focus on Revit deployment. So he worked with architects, he worked with architectural offices. I used to work with Uchenna. Uchenna was our previous office that we worked together. He was the standard person. He worked in pretty much creating the standard for our firm. And so I worked closely to Uchenna, putting together the things that we needed, what kind of details. So we created like a library of things that we can always bring into our template. So he will do a presentation about why it's so important to learn Revit and the application Revit has, not just in architecture, but in the construction world and so on. Okay. So just like not make this class so dull that we only focus on software all the time. Just invite somebody to come in, give us a like, huh? Cheers. 6 is Thursday. And it will be from 4:30 to 7. Lecture, and then any questions you will have, we'll start project 2 before then. So I will take the last two of the class to kind of like hit some milestones on that project. Okay? Cool. All right, where's good? So yeah, so this is how I'm going to be grading now, looking at you. And then you can also self-grade. The thing here is it says 11/17 PDFs. This one I'm going to see whether or not we keep the 30 by 42 or we create a 11/17 for your own presentation. Then it doesn't have to focus so much on like a construction documentation, but more like a portfolio piece, right? Like you can have these. We're not printing. It's just like PDF sheets that I will be doing. We're not printing. So just for you to like create something that you can have for your portfolio. All right. So, so that is kind of the announcement for June 6th that we're going to have a lecture. And we finish the project next Thursday. So like all the renderings, all the sheets, all the sections, it should be all done and uploaded into Canvas for me to grade. And then we'll move to project 2. Okay? Is that good? Sound reasonable? All right. Okay. So, sorry. Don, can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can see everything.
Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah. So if you go to, let me go back to. You gotta be plus. You gotta be plus. 89. I have to like it. B plus. B plus is like an 8, like a 89, like an 88.9. Minus is 89.9. I'm like, I don't know. It's better fireworks in the rubric, but yeah, I mean, I'll curve it. I'll curve it. You think you try your best, then I'll curve it. But you have to try your best. Okay. So glossary, this information that says here, I would like to open it so we can go over. It talks about different terminology that we use a lot in Revit. So when you get a chance, just look at it. In the document, live document, I added information here that I didn't mention. So for instance, when we do sections, these are the cutting planes. So you can cut without line, you can cut with line or no plane, right? So when we're cutting 2D sections, sometimes the model can look strange if there's no ending to it. So that's not based on graphics. Some people like having the clip, so having like the line shown. Some people don't. I like showing it, even though it doesn't really tell like how it looks like, but that's something, it's just a graphic, right? Right, so these, we will go over these real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Back to this. So this is a glossary. When you get a chance, just download and have it. The next one is the interface. Basically, it shows everything I talked about, right? The walls, homes, all the ribbons, all the information. Sometimes I said, if you need to look at the manage tool, where you have the renders, the object styles, all the snaps, all that information exists there. So you can see what are the ribbons. The modify, for instance, the copy, the move, the align, the offset. Okay. So just it's a nice refresher. And then, for instance, like how the software looks, right? We talk about the property window and then the project browser. So when I say project browser, I'm talking about this window that has all the views, right? We talked about that, right? Before. So this project browser basically allows you to find whether you have floor plans, whether you have sections, whether you have animations, your 3D, all that stuff linked in the project browser. Okay. Also, the project browser shows you if you have families. Okay. What else I can talk about this? All right, so that's the next one, and the shortcuts, right? So this, I will say, download, print it out, and carry in reverse, right? So move, MB, CO is copy, AR is array, PPR is properties. All these are fantastic. LA is align, you know, cool. PT is paint, you know, if you want to paint using a material, you want to paint an object, you press PT instead of like looking for the paint. Cool. Okay. So I will say have this around if you can, because it's very helpful. All right. Cool. Okay. Again, I talked about this, and pretty much that is the initial house cleaning that I wanted to discuss. All right. I want to talk a little bit about grids because I haven't really mentioned much, right? We kind of went quickly about grids, right, and how we display them. The cool thing about open Revit. File. I'm just going to create a little mistake for this. File. File. That's going to be a project. Okay. Multidisciplinary fine. It looks like this. Right. So this is showing me a boundary with some information here. I don't really care what it is. I'm just going to show you what the grid system puts, right? And so grids here, right? They appear. You always start with the one grid, right? Always. Revit wants to use always this numbering. You can start with like the number, right? And you can change it to the alphabet, right? And once you copy, it automatically changes to the following number, right? We already talked about this. So it's smart enough that it changes the actual number. The cool thing about grids is that grids can appear in 3D. They're part of the model, and they become points of references for when you're working on a project. Usually, you want to assign grids to columns or things that are not going to be moving, party walls or walls that are demising walls or low-bearing walls. Okay, so though that is grid, grid can be, you can do grid in many different ways. It could be a grid that appears as an array. But the cool thing also is that you see this little thing I never talked about is sometimes we have columns, okay, that appears like this, right? This is really, right? And so Revit thought about this. So you see this here? This little like thunderbolt or like little cutout or like a break line, right? You click on it. Right here, you see that? If you click this, it creates a way to move the bubble away from the line. And this is typically how when we have columns that are close enough and we have this grid system, the way to like clean it up so you don't have bubbles on top of each other. Okay. And if you don't want it like this, just boom, automatically brings it up. See? To be straight. Do it again, remove it. If you don't want it, drag it back to the center line, and automatically snap in place. And then you can click it, you can click it and fix it as whatever we want. So that's how we make grids when we have columns that are close enough to each other, and you don't want the bubbles to the back. Okay, is that clear? Yeah, let's close this. I'm going to talk quickly about how to make a family, which I didn't do that. And that was for the columns. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I just wanted to show that real quick. I want to close this. Right. I want to create. I want to go file, right? I want to new, and I want to look for a family. Okay. Right there. Okay. So this family, I want to make a new family. I don't know what I'm. It's going to be a family that's going to be about columns. So I'm going to download them. Do you download them, or you just create several elements? No, I'm going to make a family. Where are the actual maps? No. How many times? I want to make a family. You know. And I want to take this photo, right? Oh, right. And I'm gonna look for a column. So you see column RFP. The other is type of column. I'm gonna create a new family. So you create a new family. These are the parameters on this family. So these are your reference lines. So you can see this is the front of the face of the model. This is the right, this is the left, and this is the back. These are the center. So when we made the cross model, I should have done it here and show you how to make it. But we're moving quickly. So now I'm going to show you the correct way, because once you make this family, you can, let's say, if Quay say, hey, I need a cross column. Well, I already made a family that's cross column, right? I can give it to you. It's a family already exists, and I can export that family, and the family will live in my model. Okay? So similar to what we did last time, I can go and create an extrusion, but I'm going to make I want to change this depth to be the depth of my model. So for now, I don't really extrusion, but I want to first make my lines of the shape that I'm going to make. Right? So for instance, if I say so 3.5 makes a 7-inch, right, of the column. I want to start here. I'm going to make this average. Okay. So 3.5 half-inch, right? And then I know this 3.5. So this is the half that I need, and I need to go 3.5 again, right? Well, it will be 3 inches. This is my half-inch. So then here, half-inch, right? See that there? So this is kind of like the shape that I developed to make one quarter of my cross, right? So I can take this and I can mirror it like this. Boom. There, and now I can take this and I can mirror it. Like my line, boom. See there? Now I have my column. So I'm going to create an extrusion based on this. Typically, I also like providing reference lines. So like if I have to, these reference lines are not here. There will be just guidelines for me to like put the model in the center. So I can say this can be called center line of the column. Okay, but I'm just going to leave that for now. So now I have this. So I'm going to make an extrusion. I'm going to create an extrusion. I'm going to pick my lines. See there? And I'm going to make this extrusion and a complete, right? That's where it's supposed to go. So I know that that's the height of my group, right? I'm going to say, okay, so in the material, we didn't do this before, but in the material, you can already define what material you want. So I'm going to create a new material. And it's going to be not generic, it's going to be the polished steel metal column using like this. And I'm gonna make this material, the identity changes to be metal. Okay, and the description will be cross columns. Right? So now I create that, and then I say, well, I'm gonna apply this material. I don't have an appearance yet. I'm gonna look for that polished metal that I have somewhere in my kitchen. Look for metal. I look for the polished stainless steel. Okay. If you find something that's chrome, that's shinier, by all means. But this is the one that I have here. I think this is good enough, and I say, yeah, it's like this, right? And you see how glossy it is. Now apply. Okay. Now I finish my model, right? Similar to what if you build it in place. I want the visibility to be cut in every level, and once. And I want when I cut the graphics, when I cut this, I said cut it, I want it to look like net, right? So this is diagonal. It's okay. That's where I'm doing it on, like I've been doing 2D, not 3D. And then 3D, if I'm cutting it, here's the model, okay, the pattern foreground. I want it to be also better. I can look for pattern. It's okay. Okay. Now I'm okay. I apply. Okay. And you see the line there. I can change the scale, right? And then upload it to my model. Look at that. So this column now will have more control than creating it in model space, because now I have a cell. The reason I didn't want to show you this one is because it was too much. So like now I'm showing you that you can make families in Revit that you can import in. And now this family, if I go to my family, actually, can I save it? Let me save this as, I'll call it cross column. I'm going to save it. This is my family. Now again, close it here, and put it here. I'm just going to delete it. So if I go to my families, look at columns. You find that cross column right here. Both the family one and cross column right here. Okay. So this is the cross column. If I decide to open, it's right here. See that? And I can add parameters. I can change what these parameters are. Right now, the parameter is the width. Reality should, it's not accurate. I should have made the parameters to be 7 inches, not because that's what the column is going to do. I should have changed it, but I can show you how to do that for the next project now, or when we're doing the fuse for the getting more in depth on the families. Okay, are we clear with that? So that's how you make different families. So if you are creating families, you can use Revit. You can make lighting. You can make furniture. You can make any module. You just have to figure out, understand what are you building. So if you're building columns, usually your line, your point should be a baseboard. If you're creating a beam, that's going to be an extrusion that's going to have something that connects anchors to. So usually a wall connection, right? If you're creating a light source, usually you don't want that to be on the floor. You want to leave that to be an RCP, right? So the RCP, you will define how the light will work, whether it's off recess, whether it's a pendant, whether it's a surface mount, and so on. Okay, so that's the power of Revit. You make families that can live in your model, but they're not part of the model. You know, they're part of the model, but they're not adhered to the model. I can save them, I can give them to other people because of their work as little projects or little components like that. Okay, that's clear. Cool. All right, I just wanted to talk about that because I kind of went through it and I want to make sure that you understand a little bit. So I will let you give you some time to kind of model one and import it into your project. Okay. Any questions so far about this? Okay. All right. So we talked about title blocks, and I don't know that I mentioned it, but let me click on title blocks here. Let's see if we have title blocks in this project. Oops, that is back to this sheet. I'm gonna click on this. Let's select this title block. So right now we only have that title block, but we can search for other title blocks and bring them into Revit as a family, or we can download them from online. Okay, so click on one, go back to insert, and I'm gonna load family and look for title blocks. This one here. So you can see there's a whole collection of title blocks. Right? I want this level at 72. Why not? So I'm going to load this one, this B, and upload it to Revit. Now, if I click title block, I can select that level at 72 and it changes. See that? The cool thing about it is that families understand that they share information that is common, right? The project name, the project user, all we're doing. So if I change who the project name on this project, automatically, if I change the title block, it should pick that information. So you never have to input anything. Okay? Look for any questions about this. So again, you want to insert, you go to load the out of the family, and then you type title block and pick the line of title block. Okay? And you see it kept the same number. So if I put the owner will be, I want to do this. Is Barcelona, and the project is the Barcelona. Right? Now, if I change this setup, box to this level 19, the name stays the same because it's adhered to the project. Now, every time I create a new title block, it will have this information because I modified the project to tell the owner is Ms. Vendor and the project is Barcelona. Okay. So I'm going to change it back. So you can see. And if you start putting more information, all that data will exist in all the title blocks. Because this data is once it's input, it remembers it, right? The only thing that you can change all the time is who draw it and who checked it. Typically in an office, the person who draw it is a drafter or the architect who's designing the project, and the checker will be the QA QC person, usually the principal or somebody who's in charge of that title. Basically revise all the drawings before they go out for construction, and you make sure that there's like redlining, so there's no mistakes in the project. As you know, people who are in facility and construction management, mistakes are possible. When information is not on a project, there's a thing called change orders that, contractors love that change order because they will charge you an arm and a leg, for things that are like, don't want to talk about people in this class when I'm being reported. But yes, there's contractors are notorious for like trying to game the system as much as they can, taking away when you don't have it. For instance, I did a project and one detail that was drawn 2D, not 3D detail, not on our specs, says 2-ply of bituminous roofing material. This is right off the bat. We actually, all our roofs were 3-ply, meaning that we get 30 years of warranty. The contractor charged us $190,000 for a 3,000 square foot because they needed to buy another ply for 3,000 square feet of a roofing material, of roofing. 3,000. It's not, I'm not talking about like a big roof. And because they didn't have the material. And during the pandemic, supply chain was completely out of whack. Fasteners were $12 a piece. So basically screws. Plywood went up, not plywood, 2x4s were from $2.50 to $10 in some occasions. So you do the math. He charged us, basically a brand new car for that one plywood that we didn't forget. It was in our specs, it was in our drawings, it was one detail, and they priced. I said, well, you should be fine because you're looking at one detail that was in one sheet. And basically they did that so they said, well, this is your mistake. In reality, he had it right. Because if you made a mistake on that detail, on that set of drawings, when they're pricing, they can use it as crutch. Huh? Yeah, I mean they're yes. Well, contractor forgot. For instance, we in our drawings we said we had water leakage in the roof, and we knew that the decking should in some areas needed to replace because we did core samples and we found out, well, this looks rotted, like this metal is to be replaced. So we asked for a contingency on things that appear. And they said this contingency is an X amount. So we knew, but they tried to gain us like, another $300,000 because we needed to replace, another like 700 square feet of deck. And I was like, no, this is a contingency. So we were able to like buy that off. But they basically got a nice Mercedes from us in that, from that, but because it's there, like they said, we just bought 2-ply. We only bought material for 2-ply, not for 3. And they were like, we can't find. Once the project is out and is went for bidding, you can't make any corrections. What do you mean to sign? No, once the project is out for bidding and the contractor did the project and if you approve that bid, there's no time to make correction. That is what they price. You can make changes, but they're going to charge you change orders. I mean, I've done projects where you do design build, you do sketches. You can do design build because you know there's going to be contingency. Everybody know what design build is? Design build is where you design and build at the same time. So you come in with drawings as you're designing and building. So let's say I'm working on a project that's custom, and I need to design some sort of like millwork, right? So we work with the contractor designing at the same time. The client can say, I want, instead of using solid surface, which is cheaper, I want to use, I don't know, granite on our tops. Granite is for premium material. A granite piece, it costs you up to, $9,000. So like, imagine if that person has to cut it, make a fit out for that millwork, price is gonna skyrocket. But that's something that the client signs off. Because sometimes they find that doing it that way is cheaper. Because I don't have to use your contractor, I can find somebody else to do that work. You know what I mean? I like design build, but sometimes design build can be going out, they have issues. Things don't move as quickly. I mean, I had a project, for instance, where GC, all our drawings said conduit, hard conduit. Well, they went with flexible conduit. Flexible conduit is not as easy to fish cables. Huh? MC cable. So once you have an MC cable, you can't fish wire. So like we had a contingency for a new alarm system. Inside, right. But we had a contingency to install a security alarm system, right? That needed those low voltage cables. So we said, no, you need to leave the conduit have to be hard so we can fish, and then leave the fishing line so we can grab the cable in the future. Well, they went and changed it to MC. Of course, it saved them because it's easy, right? MCGs, roll that cable out, take it whatever you need. And you don't have to cut it, right? But my client said, no, I didn't ask for this. So that was like almost a $40,000 exchange rate. Then we got, like, they wanted from us to change it. I said, no, this is from you. The drawing said hard conduit. They gave us, but they said, well, we'll give you the money back. And the client said, I don't want the money back. I don't want you giving the $40,000. I want you to put on it. So that went in litigation. We fought it, we won, and they lost money. Because they had to do it not once, but they had to do it twice. That's the only time that I was like proud of my drawings were accurate. Because the contractor, I don't know if you guys work with Clemens, but Clemens is a little bit sometimes. Domus and Clemens are a little smug, right? They think I'm not speaking ill on them, but sometimes the contractor project managers think they know everything, and they price a project, and they miss things, and then when you point them out, they're like, no, I don't want to do this. Construction is, they don't want to lose money, but they charge you, and sometimes the project has delays. And this was a very expensive. 90% of the time, construction has delays. But it's because of weather, other issues, or like a supply chain is not there. So I got into that a little bit, but this is what I want to do. So I want you to like start playing with this. You can, if you want just one that is clean, I can show you how to do it. We can edit this family, or we can make our own title block if you want for your project. Because if you make a new family, the new family, you can tell them what kind of family. So you can say whether it's a title block, right? Okay. And then open, and it gives you what kind of title block you want. So all that information. So you want to take a 1117, you can start adding all the data, all the information you need, and then you can upload it for your application. Okay. So that is families and building families outside that you might just import into your model, right? Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right. Let me close this. Let me do the family. Let's go back to this. Talk about grids. Talk about and one thing I didn't talk about when we talk about uploading the 1117. Write this. Just highlight it. All right, so I haven't talked about graphic visibility, which is the way that Revit really showcases what you want to do. And sometimes we want to modify graphic visibility. I think it went kind of quickly, And I show that my floor plans right now look different than yours because I have my floors being show poche. And poche means that it basically creates a solid color when you cut the floor or cut a wall. Let me show you what I mean. So go back to Revit. And see here, so all my floors look poche, right? Like the cut of my floors. But if I go to a section, right, the sections don't look poche, right? Because I did not change my graphic visibility graphic. So I can change my visibility graphic or I can create a template. I'm just gonna go and use a template. I can tell I want a building section, right? Apply, right? And then that building section, I'm going to let's go. I'm gonna edit this building section and create one that's for shape. Right? I'm gonna duplicate this building section. I'm gonna call it architectural section for shape.
I'm just watching you, Master, or.
Okay. And then we go to the visibility graphic here, model, right, the first one we did. So in sections or walls, let's look at walls, top of front, and the bottom. Okay. We're gonna open this up. And then cuts, right? So we can cut the object or the pattern, right? We can change that to be solid, right? And as you do that, you see how it changes. You override, and it overrides the graphic visibility graphic. And then you do okay, apply, apply. And you see now my walls are flat, but you can see only my walls are flat, show crochet, because it's not a section. You're doing each by components, right? So they talk about that roofs are components and floors are components. So I will have to do for all of them. So I go back to my crochet, visibility graphic. You want to look for walls, the walls, floors, right here. Cut, override, and make my override to be solid, right? And apply. And I'm going to look for root. And do the same. Solid. And in the group, there is also the fascia, right? The fascia is not shown. I want also show it one now. Let's say yes. Wait, right. Solid. And apply. Okay. Look at that. Wait, what happened? I'm not cutting to the root, but I'm cutting to the root. Okay. And that is what you do. So you want to show something for sure. We don't do that in real architecture. This is just for graphics, but this project is more graphic than real building. In real building, we don't do for sure. We keep it clean. Okay. So I want you to use visibility graphic to make your project the way you want it to look. And if you have any questions, I will help you. So I give you 3 milestones. It's the column to build it on your own template, to bring or import 11/17, and then to change the visibility graphics. Okay? We good? We go? All right. What? I do the column again? I can show it to you in your desktop. You're gonna recall. Don, you got that?
Yep, I got it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so that is now all my sections that have this compared to this, right? Like if I change if I click the visibility graphic on this one. Where's the visibility graphic? I can just change it to the sheet section. Apply. Where's this one? Right, apply, and automatically that one has the parameters I created for my cuts. See, I didn't do the stairs. I can also, now that I can see it, I can go back and edit the visibility graphic on that. feasibility standard and look for stairs. Trying the stairs. Flat out section to be also solid and applied. Yeah. It's awesome. That's a great thing about Revit. You don't have to do it. I mean, within reason, right? Once you do it, kind of automatically that's free, right? You can change the how the line weights once you look and all that jazz. That makes sense? You're working. All right. Don, I'll let you work, and then if you have any questions, I'll be here, okay?
Okay.
I don't think I'm recording. I don't think I'm recording. All right, you need help with that. Oh, okay. And you? You need help with what? The mental. I don't know, I can't help you with mental. But I'm not going to institution. Sure. Yeah, no,
Hey, Ariel.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to log off now. I have to get ready to go.
okay,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. Yeah. Alright, I figured out, about the parameter. You see how. Huh? Yeah, let me show you real quick.
For those, about the parameters here. So I'm gonna record it. It's recording. No, it's recording. It's awesome. It's recording. So let me go back to this new family. Nico. For the column, just so you guys can see this. So project. So for this, I'm gonna again column. All right, and with a new, I can just change this to list. I look for column. Okay, so the column. So remember, this already has a parameter of like 2 feet by 2 feet. We don't want that because this is for a different type of column. A column is 24 inches by 24 inches. So I'm going to change this parameter. So the way you do that is select your, this is the family parameter type. And you see this are the dimension parameters. So I can just change it to 7 inches by 7 inches. And automatically adjust your parameter dimension. Okay? Because these are in relationship to this center line. So you just shrink it back to 7 inches. So what I was telling Mariano, you want to create your lines, and the reason I know is I have to only go half inch here, right? And then I know I only have to go 3 inches because I'm subtracting the half inch from this side. So I do 2 inches, right? And I go here directly because that's going to be my 3 inches, and then a half inch. See it there? So now I select this, and I mirror from this point down. And I select this, and I mirror from this point, my axis here. Right? Now I can select my stream extrusion, select my points, boom, see it there? Make this whatever feet it needs to be, right? Or I can change it to have a parameter. But right now I didn't create one. So like you see how I have parameters for the plan on like the dimension of it. I can make one for that says crop below every column or crop below any roof, and like it will stop at any roof. It automatically will go to that and to the height. But I don't want to do that because it's I don't know about it. I can show you how to do that. And so once you have that, being a menace can have done parameters. Yeah, being a menace is like done parameters. Yeah. And then again, like you can change the material, change the thing, right? Stuff like that. And then you want, I use chrome something, create a new material and then call it like chrome. Because this doesn't have any material, right? This is it's a new family. So you have to kind of make the material for this family and import this material into Revit. So I could say steel, any family, and rename this. We call it steel for now, right here. And then give it an asset, look for steel asset, right? And look for whatever the chrome, college, whatever you like. I like this one, right? And then we'll do okay. And then here in identity, I want, instead of being a generic class, I want to define that it's a metal, right? And then I want to say, give it a definition, what the description of this, and then give it a cut pattern, whether it becomes solid or not. You can say, you can leave it empty and then modify in the graphic, and we have it to do graphic, or you can say I want to give it like a hatch, like a cross hatch. And in the foreground, you can set, you can add a pattern where there's the new and then with a crosshatch or parallel lines, spacing, maybe 2 inches spacing, to apply, do OK, OK, and finish. Now I have my crosshatch. So I can load it up, save it as, I'm gonna save as, I'm gonna save it. And I'm just gonna corrupt the one I created and say, yes, this is one I like it more, and then I can upload it and automatically changes overrides the other values. And I want that. Override the existing version? Yes. Because I want these new parameters. And now if I do CM, do my column. Column. Right. We'll look for my column that I created. Oh, thank you. And well, I didn't change this, right, but it's whatever. I think I override something. I did change something, but yes, you can change the parameters. Okay. That's it. It's a great thing about added parameters. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll let you do the work. Mhm. Oh, so basically, what do we do? Is like, you working on this? You want to go to insert and then load the family and load for titlebloks. And then we're 17 titlebloks. Okay. Are you working with Revit somewhere on your project? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. What's going on with this? This is right. Let me look at my floor plan. See? Yeah, this is fine. Look at that. I'm going to plus 40. Practicing here. So you know how I said I would like talk about sites and how you model a site for on Revit. So Revit has what I'm gonna do is real quick, I'm gonna get some of the heights of these points so I can show you how I would do it. So right now I'm looking, this point here is 22, 122, which is 2 feet lower than this. 124, the depth, which is at 4 feet. This is 120, the 4 feet. So this is 124, same height. Okay, all right. Show you real quick. And then this is so this goes higher road to a lower point. So that's 130. Okay. All right. What I'm getting is not important to you. I'm just getting some data so I can apply it into my site. You can see. So in Revit, let me say no, this, in Revit, you can make a, what's it called, a toposolid, which is basically a site. Okay, right? So you see here, it's basically like toposolid is just how you make a site. You create a solid topographical element into your Revit model. Okay, so I'm going to click this, and I will create one from Sketch. You can import it if you have a model made somewhere else. You can import it. But I don't have a model, so I'm gonna make a rectangle that follows this geometry. See that? I'm gonna say, okay. So before I edit, I'm gonna edit this this sketch, and there's and then I would say, okay, this is fine. Here, modify, add points of data. So, okay. So you see here, it says add points, subdivide, split line, points. I'm going to add points. Okay. So basically, this is right now at 0. It's like my grade level, right? So when I was looking at someone said on the site, the closest point to this elevation is 2 foot. So if I select this, I can make these 2 foot higher. You see how it changes to create this data point, right? Here, when I add another point, it's going to be this point and make this was 24, 2 feet, right? So you see how it's changing, creating like these different data points. It's because Revit is trying to figure out how this topography works. So I'm just adding data points based on what I got before, right? And then this point here is at 0. So I can put another point here and make this point right here, like near here, make that point 0. So I click on the point, make it 0. And then I'm going to make another point here that's also going to be at 0. And then here. Okay, that's kind of the flat of this base. And I want to say I'm done with this. Okay, I want to go to 3D so you can see it. Huh? So yeah, so you can see how it creates these data points, right? So basically, what I told Revit is I want to add an outside, and I'm going to use some of the heights that I found on based on the topography. So if I go, I'm just going to show you real quick. I put a guy here, looking down here, you can see that this is not on a flat surface, right? This is kind of has a pitch. This height over here is higher. That's why you see the stairs going up, right? So in the data, I found out that this top of the stairs, I'm gonna go back to my Revit, is 11 feet higher here than here. So I can go here, edit, or add my more points, and then this, I can make this whole thing to be 11 feet higher than 0. And it's gonna say, what's going on? Like, this is insane, because look at this data now. But don't worry about it. That's not a big deal. We are going to create what is it called, a building, I don't know, building a slab. It's like a hole for the building. I don't know if I'm on the words. I'm not have to get today. Okay, I feel like it's left enough, but I can't think of words today. So I'm gonna make a building. This. I'm gonna create a slab. Like that. Slab. Like that. I can do two words. I can select this and I can make another opening around the shape of my building. So if I go back to first floor, I can select the lines, right? And then do this. So quickly so you can see it. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Fine, this is good, this one is not. This one is not. Let's go here. Here. And I think I go, and then do it. Right? Now, in your 3D, as you can see that the building is now, my site is not heading to my building. So you click on it, right? And then you edit the sketch, and then you add the lines around it. Okay. Now, when I change the topography, this has a name for it. I can't think of it. It's basically like a building footing. It's like basically think about like when you do an excavation on a site, and you take out the foot, you're showing the foundation, right? Has a name, I can't think of it. Jesus, it will come in handy. You guys will leave, and I will be like, that was it. Okay, I can't think of it. So, so right now, this is kind of like my site. As you can see, this has nothing. I haven't defined what this is. It says, oh, by the way, it sits in new construction and not remodeling anything. This is basically a facing parameter. I haven't talked about this. I'm going to talk about it in the next project. But Revit also works basic. So you can do things in existing construction that you need to do. And then let's say you're doing a new addition, like before I used to do a lot of restorations. So all my phase were new construction. So if I had to remove a portion of the building, the existing building will remain. It would just not show. Whatever I was demoing would not show in my new phase. Understand? So you can have set of demo drawings that look the Revit. This class is too compressed to be getting in those nuances, but in the 15 weeks, I do talk about demolition plans. But just keep that in mind. So you end up with something like this. If I edit this, I can apply what it needs to be. And I can say this is a site, and I can subdivide it, but I can simplify the toposolid and do whatever I need. So what I want to do is I want to add to this, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to find the right material for this, right? See if we have structure materials, no, control, no, structure, no. Structure is going to be category, and it's going to be grass, right? It's not a material. It's a solid object. So think about it as is Earth, right? It's a solid object. So you can tell it what category the substructure is, right? You know what I mean? Because it's not like applying a material. Any question? Okay. So I'm going to say this is Earth. And say Earth, right? And apply it. Right. And then say okay. And okay. Apply and fine. So this is my Earth thing. Right? But this looks pretty awful. So what I want to do is I want to paint grass on top of this. So it looks pretty good, right? So I'm going to go back to my modifier. You know how to do this, right? Paint. Look at the paint bucket for BT. Look for grass. Good grass, nice grass. No grass. Well, there's no grass. So I'm going to go to manage, right? If you don't find the material, go to manage the material. I'm going to create a material and color. Rename this grass. And I'm going to find a grass object. It's an asset that is grass. That beautiful. Yes, yes. Found it. You know, the pretty, but it's whatever it is, right? And then an identity, I'm going to make still be generic Earth, right? and description will be grass of site, something like that, right? See it? And do apply, and do okay. Right, now I'm gonna go back to my PT, just the PT paint, and look for that grass. So look at that, paint, whatever your heart desires. See, right now it's painted faceted. It's okay because it created this facet when I added those points. See there? So it's okay. We all survive this. Right. Look at that. I have my ooh, I missed this. And let's see. Look at that. Now I have my site. Okay. Grass. It's not the prettiest, but I don't have to do it. You just have to make. I don't know the heights on this thing, so I'm just making it a building pad. That's what I meant to say. A building pad with a cutout. Thank you. Oh my God, jeez. Building points. All right. So you can build a building pad by creating, or sometimes there's the old Revit pad like a button you press, create an outline, and the outline became the building pad. It will make like a hole to the surface. Okay. So now if I click one of my sections, the cool thing about this is that the Revit knows that this is the site, the earth site, right? Around my building, right? But I think that if we do click the building pad, it shows um, okay. So I'm gonna go back, and then I'm gonna go back to the mapping, go back to that tree view or my first floor plan right here. I'm gonna look again to the images, and I see there's like a lot of vegetation right around this. I don't want to go super crazy, but I want to add some trees to make it look funky, right? I'm gonna go back to my to my Revit model, and I'm gonna go back to and from here, and I'm gonna see. I want to turn off my don't crop view so I can see the site. See it? See my site? Right? And so I'm gonna add some trees. So I'm gonna go here. I'll go to massing. I'm gonna add some site components. Look at that. Some trees. These are deciduous red ash 25 feet. We'll look for maybe some we have common apple, new American beach, yes. Let's have something here. And common luck, locust, and here have some openings. Here, we're gonna find latitude Aspen. Again, these are to you. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. This is because I'm adding trees to kind of mimic what I have on the site. Right? You can do whatever you want to do. No, you don't have to have it. For the rendering, you don't have to have it. I'm just adding so you can see how it is. Right? And so I'm going to add this like here, right? Actually, I'm going to move these trees out of the way. And I'm going to create that tab here on this level, which is my first floor. So go back to architecture, floor, and we're going to be back to this grade level. And where's the? You see, you can see how it's cutting the earth. That this is below grade. This is like above it. This is one place to know where this site is. I'm going to create level here. For okay. Elements. Sure. Or on finish my finished floor, my first floor. And we're gonna be at 0. And I'm gonna create this floor here. Just so I can create this deck and now we can say if I want to here. Yes, it's gonna be under because right now you click on 3D, or click on the 3D. My floor is gonna right. It's gonna vary like this. No big deal. I can edit this, but at the same time, I do want to be like this. Let me just do it like that. Change. Yeah. So this is my floor. Right, look at my trees. Right, right. It's good, right? So I'm gonna go back to my 3D views. And now you start seeing something. Somebody was asking me, was it you? About the lighting control? Okay, so in rendering, for the view, in render, you have this. See this here? This is how you affect your rendering. And you change how you want it to be rendered. So you can have only sun to be rendered, no artificial light. There's no artificial light in this model. I don't have any lighting, but sometimes it compensates. You can also change whether it is like sun from the top, from the right. You can change the angle. You can change where the level you want it, and grade. And you can change this like this studies, right? This you can do single day or whatever, some studies. You can also change if you have artificial light, you can change how this artificial light works. And then change um, the exposure, right? Like how you want to expose it, right? So this is where all these mechanisms exist. So click on this view and radically change this to something else. This is helpful. Whatever. If something overexposed, this like looks kind of sketchy. And this one. So I have some renderings I can play with. So the sun will be in the interior. It will use like the sun to be lit up from the interior. As rather. I'm just telling you, that's what it means. If you have a courtyard or like you just want the sun to be inside your face. If you want the whole sun inside your face. I'm just gonna render real quick so you can see it. And then these things, be mindful. The higher the, I think I thought the higher the render, the or the higher DPI, the longer it takes. So I usually like using just a region just to test it out. So I'm gonna see see, I want to render. Spreadsheets. What do you mean? Are you in Revit? So why you take it to Revit if you're in Revit? Is that, is that English? It's not showing now. So you can click, you see this little box on the bottom? See my arrow? Right here. This little box, if you click this box, it shows you how you are displaying your renders. Whether you want to like something with lighting, material or not. Yeah. Blue box or like the blue box with the red color inside. Yeah, that's right. I'll put it on. You want me to do it now? Huh? Yeah. Let me show you. Okay. Let me, let me take a screenshot of this. Okay, let me see that. So these are the point datums that I added. So when you add, when you are when you want to add points to your site, you can define what the hide those points. You click the points and then you can go back and define that. So I'll say keep it all 0 and then you can change those heights. Okay. I was just showing you how I was changing it. Otherwise, you can automatically. Okay. All right. Yes.
What is that? You know what to do. Oh, sorry. What do you do? You follow? Yes. Yeah. You make it like you look at that. You know the original? Are you doing that? No, you look properly. Okay. Well. Okay, video, let's see what's going on. Use your word. English is one language. Communicate. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Nothing. Oh, you need.